what if there's a quiet, maybe growing wave of hesitation among consumers, like right now? What if that path to, everyone driving EVs isn't quite as smooth as we thought?
Yeah.
That's what we're diving into today. So our sources for this deep dive, they include a really fascinating new ledger survey commissioned by rates.ca.
Okay.
And we've also got some sharp insights from automotive research expert Neil Hiscox.
It's quite striking, isn't it, how quickly consumer sentiment can shift on something this fundamental.
Yeah.
These sources, they give us a real window into the evolving concerns around EVs, especially here in Canada.
So what's our mission here?
Our mission in this deep dive is really to unpack the key reasons behind this shift in consumer confidence. We're particularly focusing on affordability and some genuinely surprising and evolving insurance considerations. Right. It's all about helping you, the listener, understand the often overlooked financial implications of owning an EV. Things that might not be immediately obvious.
Right. So let's get right into it. This shifting landscape of EV interest. The survey findings are, well, they're pretty stark. Only 31% of Canadians surveyed actually declared an interest in buying an EV.
Just 31%?
Yeah, and compare that to a whopping 49% who said, nope, not interested.
Wow.
And get this, looking long-term, only 17% expressed interest in buying an EV within the next 5 years.
Only 17.
And nearly one-third, 32%, they have no plans for EV ownership.
Ever. That's quite a statement. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's particularly relevant given Canada's zero-emission vehicle mandates.
Right, the targets.
Exactly. For context, Q1 2025 ZEV, that's zero-emission vehicle registrations, they were down to just 8.7%.
Just 8.7.
Yeah, that's way below the 20% target set for 2026.
Oh, definitely.
And significantly off pace for the really ambitious 2035 zero-emission vehicle mandate.
Rates.ca, they comment that consumer confidence has, well, clearly shifted. It's due to affordability, those evolving insurance considerations we're going to get into.
Yes.
And just a general uncertainty around, like, the long-term ownership costs.
Okay.
They emphasize that broader adoption, it might truly lag without, more stable pricing, robust infrastructure, and maybe clearer public policy direction from government.
It certainly paints a compelling picture of a market facing some real headwinds, doesn't it?
It does.
Given these numbers, what the survey reveals next is particularly telling. Let's zero in on the big concerns for consumers: repair, maintenance, and especially insurance.
Right.
The survey found 42% of Canadians cited the cost of EV repair and maintenance as a major concern.
Almost half.
Yeah. And a significant chunk, 21%, were specifically worried about insurance expenses. What really underscores the financial impact for owners is, well, you've got some data on that, right? Yeah, a key observation here is the disparity in premium increases. So rates.ca quoted data for Q1 2025, it shows that non-EV insurance premiums, they rose 7.8% year over year.
Okay, almost 8%.
Right. But EV premiums, they surged by 18.9%. That's nearly 20%.
Nearly 20. Wow, that's a dramatic difference.
That really is. And it's not just a general concern either. This worry about EV insurance premiums, it varies quite a bit by age.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, for example, 29% of people between 18 and 4 years old cite it as a concern.
Okay, almost a third of younger adults.
Exactly. Compare that to only 17% of those 35 and older.
Huh.
And this is noteworthy because, 18 to 34-year-olds are actually the largest group of potential EP buyers. They make up 41% of those interested.
Right.
So the demographic that's most keen on EVs is also the one most worried about one of their biggest potential costs.
So why? Why exactly are these EV insurance costs soaring like that? I mean, nearly 20% versus 8%. This raises an important question, right? And Neil Hiscox, CEO of Clarify Group, Inc., he provides some crucial insights into why claims costs for insurers are just so much higher for EVs.
Yeah, and the core issue, what really drives these escalating costs, it's the battery.
The battery.
It's sort of the Achilles heel of EV ownership when it comes to repairs. Damaged batteries are incredibly expensive to fix.
Right.
And they often lead to the vehicle being declared a total write-off.
A write-off. Just from battery damage.
Yeah, even minor collisions can sometimes damage the battery.
Yeah.
And replacing one can cost, tens of thousands of dollars.
Tens of thousands.
And if we, connect this to the bigger picture, this differs significantly from gas-powered cars, ICE vehicles.
How so?
Well, with a gas car, no single part makes up such a huge portion of the car's overall value.
Okay. That makes sense.
So from an insurance perspective, EVs are simply, well, more likely to be totaled.
Right.
Because the repair costs, they often reach like 60 to 70% of the car's value.
Wow.
And that quickly surpasses the threshold for deeming a vehicle a total loss.
And it's not just theory, right? I think our sources mentioned a pretty striking real-world example.
They did, yeah. A Vancouver driver was apparently shocked to learn that some small damage to his car's battery cost $60,000 to fix.
$60,000?
Yeah.
That's more than a brand new car in many cases.
Exactly.
As someone who's, even briefly considered an EV,
Yeah.
hearing that kind of figure is a real gut check.
Mm-hmm.
It fundamentally shifts the entire risk profile, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Plus, Neil Hiscox also points out another challenge. Canada still doesn't really have enough body shops that are certified to repair EVs.
Oh, right. The certification issue?
Yeah, it just adds another layer of complexity and likely cost. Makes repairs harder to find and probably more expensive when you do find them.
Okay, so extensive parts, higher chance of write-off, hard to find certified repair shops.
Exactly. And to put this maybe in perspective, rates.ca gives an illustrative example. So insuring a Tesla Cybertruck Beast Crew Cab AWD in Toronto.
Right, the Cybertruck.
Yeah. It could set you back around $496 a month.
Per month.
Per month. Or $5,952 a year in premiums.
Wow.
And just for context, that specific quote was based on like a 35-year-old male driver in Toronto. Clean record, included comprehensive and collision coverage.
Wow, nearly $6,000 a year, almost $500 a month just for insurance.
Yeah.
That's almost a second car payment for some people.
Yeah.
It truly makes you wonder if that green glow comes with a hidden shade of red in the ledger.
It certainly adds up.
So what does this all mean then for someone like you, the listener, maybe considering an EV or, for the broader push towards those EV mandates?
Well, it means these factors. You've got the initial purchase price, sure, but also the high repair costs, the soaring insurance premiums, and that specific vulnerability of the battery.
Yeah.
They're directly influencing this consumer hesitation we're seeing. It's pretty clear these are significant roadblocks when it comes to actual affordability and the true long-term costs of ownership.
Right.
It really reinforces exactly what rates.ca highlighted. It's maybe not just range anxiety holding back EV adoption anymore. What is it then?
Repair risk anxiety, maybe?
Yeah.
Specifically around that battery.
Yeah.
That seems to be becoming the real financial roadblock for many.
Repair risk anxiety.
Huh. That's a good way to put it. It's certainly a lot to consider. What stands out to you listening right now, about these figures, and how might it change your perspective on EV adoption?
So just to summarize, the core reasons for this growing EV hesitation in Canada seem to be a definite shift in consumer confidence due to affordability concerns.
Mm-hmm.
The high cost of repairs, especially that battery damage we talked about.
Right.
The surging insurance premiums, nearly 20% increase year over year.
Yeah, that was stark.
And the persistent lack of certified repair infrastructure, still not enough places to get them fixed properly.
Absolutely. That covers the key pain points, doesn't it? And as we wrap up this deep dive, let's leave you with a thought-provoking question to mull over.
Oh.
Considering these significant financial and logistical challenges for current and prospective EV owners, what specific policy changes or maybe technological advancements do you think are most critical? What do governments and the auto industry need to address to bridge this gap between those ambitious EV targets and the very real consumer concerns we're seeing right now?